Hey YouTubers, just another quick Saw or Jigsaw now video for you guys. Honestly, this is something I've been thinking about for the last couple of days and just a couple weeks, honestly. So we haven't really gotten much from this film, honestly, if we're being completely fair. They've given us some casting. There's still some rumors about people being cast. We have our creative team, which I've just stated over and over again in multiple videos now that I am just absolutely 100%, 100,000% behind. I am obviously, this film is going to be a spectacle and potentially even a very artistic film, you know, considering its upbringing, considering the fact that, you know, this was basically the beginning of what a lot of people consider the torture porn era of horror movies. And, you know, I never really agreed with that. But at the same time, you know, it just kind of had its start in this indie culture type of thing, became what I've always kind of called a cult indie film, you know, like a widespread cult indie film, a popular one, where, you know, these movies weren't necessarily to be for huge audiences. Obviously, they want it to be for a huge audience, but it's not necessarily. So that's all besides the point. I am absolutely 100% positive that this movie is going to blow us away. I don't think that they would bring it back for any other reason other than they had a decent story. But with that being said, that's a video for another day. One of the things we have heard recently is the fact that none of the other characters or actors from the original 7 films are coming back for Jigsaw. And while we know that this probably isn't going to be the end of the franchise, I mean, here's hoping that it's not the end of the franchise, there's probably always going to be room for other people to come back. You know, Shawnee Smith, Costas Mandylor, Carrie Ellis, even Lee Winnell, if he ever decides to come back as Adam in flashback material, or any of the other people that we saw from Traps or something. One of the things the original Saw franchise actually did pretty well, almost better than any other franchise that I can name off the top of my head, is unbelievable continuity between actors and scenarios, bringing people back, legitimate actors who acted major parts in one film coming back for just not even a cameo role, not even a lined cameo role, just kind of showing up in the background of various flashbacks that we saw throughout the series in order to kind of build this world and at least place them somewhere in John or someone else's scope of the general story that made them a part of this universe. And I gotta, you know, you gotta give credit where credit is due. That was phenomenal. In fact, I really want to cover that stuff later on in another video because I do think that all of that stuff is worthy of its own video. What I'm talking about today, and I just keep getting off of topic, but what I'm talking about today is whether or not, because these actors aren't necessarily coming back for this film, and no indication that they'll be coming back anytime after this film, you know, for Jigsaw 2 or 3 or whatever they end up calling the next film, if they even do a next film. Is there a place for these films, in your opinion? You know, go down in the comment section below and tell me, do you think that they could potentially recast some of these roles? I'm talking Amanda, Hoffman, Dr. Gordon, you know, Allison Gordon, Diana Gordon, you know, Eric Matthews, Daniel Matthews, you know, just everybody. Everyone who had some importance in the series. Could they recast those roles, given the fact that there's 10 years that have gone by, the fact that these actors have potentially, you know, aged out of their roles, in particular if they ever did a flashback to anyone who's particularly dead, you know, someone like Amanda or someone like Jill Tuck or someone like that. Do you think that, would you be okay with it? I've thought about this a lot, honestly, as a fan of the series, and I'm so conflicted by this. I am absolutely so conflicted because while I understand that they could probably continue to do this without certain characters or certain actors, I feel like there's a lot of people out there. One of the things I've heard from a lot of people out there is they want Dr. Gordon to come back. They want Hoffman to come back. And I've told them over and over and over again in these videos that there's just no indication that that's going to happen. But there doesn't seem to be this consensus with the fan base that Costas Mandylor come back or Carrie Ellis come back. They just want Hoffman, or they want Dr. Gordon, or they want Amanda. They don't want Shawnee Smith. or at least that's not the way they're portraying it. Maybe it's just in, just the context of what they're saying. They want those actors to come back because they are, they've integrated themselves into these roles and they've become iconic for them. For most of them, probably their most iconic roles in their entire career. And I think that is an interesting concept for me, and what I wanted to kind of ask all of you guys. I mean, I just don't really know. I think that there's a lot of arguments to be made to consider the fact that they really shouldn't be recasting these roles. I feel like, people like Shawnee Smith and Costas Mandylor really did make these Amanda and Hoffman, they made them their own characters, and to see someone else step into those shoes, especially with the unbelievable continuity that we saw throughout the entire series when it came to having actors come back to portray their roles, is something that I feel would kind of spit on the legacy of Saul, Saul legacy. I feel like it would definitely spit on that legacy to start recasting people right now. But that's to say, that's not to say that I don't think it's an entirely bad idea either. If people don't want to come back, but the characters themselves can be, important to the ongoings of the film. If Hoffman's character comes back for whatever reason, or if Dr. Gordon's character comes back for whatever reason, and it's important for the story, I would rather, honestly, as a fan of this series, as much as I love all the continuity that the story brought up and all the returning actors and everything that basically went to building this universe and everything surrounding it, personally, me as a fan, I would rather see someone step into a role that wasn't originally theirs and continue that story of the character and the story of the overall series than just marking out about having, Carrie Ellis come back to play Dr. Gordon, or Costas Mandylor coming back to play Hoffman, or Shawnee Smith coming back to play Amanda. As long as we get to see Amanda or Hoffman or Dr. Gordon or Jill Tuck or someone else again, and they play into the further events of Saul going forward, I think that would be more impactful for the fan base than just having an actor come back. I could be wrong here. I know a lot of people probably would, feverishly disagree with me, and that's absolutely fine. And like I'm saying, I'm basically going off of what they've told us right now at this point. I'm not necessarily going off of anything that we've actually been told any other way, considering the fact that they've only said that Tobin Bell's coming back and no one else is. Whether they're hiding that from us or legitimately no one else is coming back, we have no idea. I personally would just like to see them bring back these characters, and whether or not it's the actor who originally played them or not, I think I would just rather have the characters back than the actors, although I can see it both ways. So like I said, guys, short video today. I just really wanted to get everyone's opinions and thoughts on this. Make sure to go down in the comment section below and share those opinions and thoughts. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video out to all your friends, because I do think that this is a concept worth talking about. But with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with just that thought. And don't forget to have a good day.